Welcome to today's enlightening episode of Expansion of Consciousness, where we explore the realm of art, spirituality, and a lot of other things as well. Today, joined by Dr. Joan Angel, also known as Dr. Joan Gardner, a renowned spiritual artist, visionary, and intuitive guide. Dr. Joan has captivated audiences worldwide with her vibrant paintings that are not just visually stunning, but also serve as a portal to higher realms of consciousness. With over 2 decades of experience, she combines sacred symbolism with contemporary aesthetics to creating transformative pieces that encourage spiritual awakening and personal growth. Today, Dr. Joan will share with us the profound insights beyond her art and her mission to ignite the divine spark within everyone. Join us as we embark on a journey of self discovery and spiritual enlightenment with Dr. Joan of Angels by our side. I'm going to go ahead and get Dr. Joan on right now. 1 second. Hello there, Dr. Joan. How are you today?
I'm great. That was such a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Jason.
Awesome. And you have enough information to make it wonderful. You're just absolutely fabulous, a beautiful spirit. In terms of your work, the way you've enlightened many people across the world through art, through the spiritual coaching that you provide. I'm excited to have you here. And this is going to be a good episode. I know it is.
I'm here because you have an expansion of consciousness too. And I thought together we can really expand, multiply how much that expansion happens.
I know, but before we start, and thank you so much, but before we start, let's give some people a understanding. We read your bio, but how did you literally understand or realize your gift? And and it's taking you this far. Can you walk us through that entire process, so that the audience can get a deep understanding from yourself and the way it felt to start to feel this intuitiveness that sparked your journey?
I love it. I'll give you my backstory. First of all, I want the audience to know that as a child, both my mother and brother, who were artists, both sat me down and said, Joan, make sure you never become an artist in your entire life. You're only cut out to be a bookkeeper. So that was some of my early beginnings. But when I was very, very young, I really loved people. I just had strong compassion. I was an empath. I could feel people's pain. I could feel their sorrow. I could feel everything. And this led me years later, after I had a scoliosis or a curve in my spine, to
Mhm.
become a chiropractor. And as a chiropractor, I started to learn putting hands on people and healing. And I would always tell them at the end of every treatment, we've just turned up your power. And so years later, when difficulties came in my life and I asked for a miracle, I was shown a message to paint 33 angels in 30 days. And I went, well, that's too many, too much. You know what it is. It was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I heard it again.
Mm.
And this time I said, well, I can't paint faces or eyes. And I'm not an artist. My mother and brother said I'm not an artist. What are you thinking? And then I heard it a third time. And I knew that that message was suddenly going to change my life. I didn't know how. So I painted those 33 angels in 30 days, put them up in the loft, and I now have an angel loft. A book falls off the bookshelf and it says, your call for angelic assistance has been heard. And thus launched my work, becoming a paintbrush and a channel for these divine beings, because they told me that they want humanity to really see what they look like. They don't all look like pure golden angels. They have different unique personalities and beauty, and they wanted me to be that paintbrush. And so I said yes.
Wow. And it just reminds me of the book, Lessons of the 12 Archangels. I think Mrs. Womack. I think it's Elizabeth Womack. And the angels are so beautiful. They're such gentle beings, and I would say that we would all do ourselves a favor getting to know these your angels, your guardian angels, But that's a very powerful revelation, and it's just very inspiring to hear how your personal experiences led you to just such a profound understanding, and moved you towards your mission. It's just almost like you were turning your art into a medium for deeper spiritual connection.
It is. It's absolute. First of all, that's a great observation, Jason. It is. Much of the art are portals to other realms and other dimensions, which stimulate your desire to be there. And in some cases, people will come up to me after shows and say, "Well, Joan, I remember knowing you there. That's the temple we used to go to, and it's on such and such a galaxy far away." And so it triggers, some of the art triggers memories for people of when they were in those days or when they walked as those kinds of beings or connected with them in the past. And so it's active art. And I will activate art for people and align people with the art so that it raises your own frequency to the energy of the angels. So one of the things I learned when I was painting was that it's important for us to learn how to raise our frequency to the frequency of the divine, as opposed to expecting them to come down here into our heavy 3D density all the time. So the art raises that energy for you.
Beautiful. It's almost like when you're looking at a vision board, and you're just, using that vision board to create your new reality, and that the energy from those photos and the thought that you're putting into it is just, just eerie similarities. But I want to ask you this, Dr. Joan, how do you integrate the sacred symbols I read about in your work into your artwork? And what are some of the symbols that hold significant meaning in your creations?
So no one's ever asked me such a brilliant question. It's a good question.
Thank you.
So I channel it all. I can't explain it. I'm also a writer. When I'm writing, I never read other authors, even in the same, the field of miracles or intuition. I just don't read other people because then it taints what I am doing. So, because I'm a Pisces, I absorb everything. So I try to stay neutral. But
Mhm.
whatever images come into my art are really infused because they've shown them to me in a way that they want them to come through in the painting. And and like there's stargates in the art, there's portals in the art, there's energy that I've infused in some of the originals that I've created, which has sparkles and glitter that just sort of go right in, like behind us, the screen behind us, we see those moving stars out there. It's the same way. It inspires us.
Wow, the depth of these symbols and the way you've integrated them into your art, it just really shows how each of the pieces that you've prepared, how they carry a story, and that energy that resonates on just multiple levels. And you wondered a minute ago, like, you're on top of it, Jason. I'm an energy healer as well. And I wrote a best-selling book, Empowered by Consciousness. So, Dr. John, I'm right there with you in the fascination of these different dimensions and, portal ascension and all that. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating to see how art can communicate such a complex spiritual narrative. And it's fascinating in the aspect of we see it in a number of different modalities, but to have someone on the show that the work communicates in such a in-depth way is awesome. Very, very awesome.
I appreciate your feedback on that. I'm really just taking what I'm hearing and seeing in my mind's eye and creating canvases around it. And sort of I'm following this guidance, and it's always I'm happy to hear that it resonates with people. But my
Yeah.
mission has always been to help people live their best life, to help people break free of the restrictions and the limitations, and so that they can be free to live their potential in whatever way they can. And I collect crystals. I don't know about you. I have a salt lamp. I have things in my house that resonate at a higher frequency, and that's what this art does. It's an oracle tool. You can put it in your home to actually change the energy, or your office.
Yes. And I have You're like 23. It's right next to me, right on my bookshelf. So yeah, I do collect crystals. Crystals are intelligent. Crystals can help you with your daily life. We've had some people on the show in the past that we've done just on crystals, and that's a very interesting topic. You don't find too many people that really can dive in, but absolutely, Dr. Joan, crystals are amazing.
Right. And so they're living energies. And so the artwork is living energy. I really, if you think about what is matter, like this cup, this is atoms, atoms and electrons and neutrons all clustered together and they're not moving, but we're all composed of the same things. It's expansive,
Mm.
and so that's what the art does. It's expansive. It's just expands in the same way a crystal would expand. And I've had sculptures and art that actually talk to me. And you know what? This is so funny. I have not remembered this, Jason. And and this you'll like this. When I was a little girl, I used to lie in bed and I couldn't see well. I always needed glasses. I have these glasses. And I would lay there and I'd look at the art on the wall and I would see figures moving. I would always see images moving within the artwork on the walls. And now I realize, oh, I've always seen things in artwork. So thank you.
The ability to see energy is amazing. Everything is energy, and to quantify it through your vision, through your intuitive ability, the clairvoyancy that you carry. It's pretty beautiful. Now we know that you're a coach, and I want to ask you questions about the way some of your clients react during your intuitive coaching sessions, the challenges that they face. How do you guide them to overcome obstacles when you see them?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I do readings and sessions for people. I like it when we have a group of sessions because then whatever comes out in the reading, then we can actually teach you how to activate that and how
Mhm.
to let go of what doesn't serve you. Because the truth is that many of us carry our past with us. Most of us who are healers don't come in with a great, easy life. It's the story of the wounded healer. So I encourage people to sort of put all their problems in a wheelbarrow. And the truth is, you can't take the wheelbarrow to heaven with you when you die. It's too heavy. But as they put them in this wheelbarrow, they can actually and try to drag it energetically. You can realize how heavy it is. It makes it so much easier just to cut it off. Cut that wheelbarrow. You cut away. You dissolve. You disintegrate, and you start to see things in a new light. You change if you change your perspective on almost everything. So I faced a lot of challenges growing up. I don't know about you, Jason, but I ran away at the age of 3. That's how traumatized I was.
Mm.
And I hid in the closet most of my childhood so no one would see me. So I've come to this state with a desire not to be seen, but a soul mission of being seen around the world. You heard that bang, seen around the world. And yet there are times I don't want to get out of the closet. Literally, I don't sit in this closet too long anymore, but that energy of being afraid, of being too shy to be the leader that I'm supposed to be. So I've learned the hard way about having to let go of the things we fear or the things that weigh us down. And I'm a pretty good coach. I take people up to the mountaintop. I
Yes.
take you into the Joan of Angels Cafe that's almost at the top. We could see the whole world down below. We can see you running around like a little nutcase or whatever, in the chaos, and how you're stuck in this roadblock. And we unloop that roadblock so you can start heading straight and have more clarity. Anything I do, Jason, it's because I come from the school of hard knocks. I had to learn on my own how to recover just like everyone else does. And that's how I became a mentor. My guide said, you're going to teach all those lessons. And you have to share them so people can go, oh my God, if she did it, I can.
Yeah, I can tell that the way you navigate these sessions is tailored. And it must be incredible for your clients to experience this sort of transformative experience. So I commend you on that. Well, can you share an example of how your artwork has facilitated a spiritual awakening or maybe a
Oh, yeah.
transformation in someone's life?
So I have a darling patient. I'm not going to give you her name, but when she came to me, now this woman is extremely gifted. She has studied every tool of consciousness, and she could read people. She attracts all these dolphins and birds all around her. I mean, she's like amazing. But when she first came to me, she reached out to have my soul essence portrait. And I always do a session first for the soul essence portrait. And in that session, I knew she wasn't ready. She just wasn't ready. She had too much chaos going out. She had come out of a relationship, and everything was chaos. And I couldn't get a grasp of who she was to do these soul aspects yet. So she underwent coaching for several months, which was great. Because I do tell people, if you're not ready, you're not ready. And I'm not going to do it until you're ready. But I'm willing to coach you to get ready. And it took us about 3.5 to 4 months until one day we got online and was like, boom, that which had caused most of her issues, she had slowly but surely resolved. And on that day, they told me she's ready.
Hmm.
And so we did the soul essence portrait. So, what am I telling you? People have a gradual change. They start to learn how to use their discernment skills better, which is really important. They learn how to listen more to the voice that they're hearing, because all I do is confirm. What happens in a session often is people go, oh, God, I was just thinking about doing that. How do you know? How did you know? Usually I hear suggestions for them and I'll tell them, and they haven't said a word about that aspect or anything. And they'll go like, well, how did you know? I was thinking that. So that happens often. And a good session for me is when we get lots of confirmations
Hmm.
that we're on the right track. And the mission is so you can live your best life, and you can step into your purpose and your mission, which is most important, because you're all here now for a reason. You're all here now to be part of this great awakening that's happening. It's no accident, especially if you had to live through the pandemic and all of what the crap that came the last few years. You are here to live your best life, not just for you, but for us, the rest of us, so we can be at that vibration with you.
And I just love hearing about how people are able to benefit from the work that we do, the work that you do. Uh, the power of your work is remarkable. I mean, just the visual art and how it can initiate this profound change in a person, from a spiritual landscape, from a personal landscape. I just think it's so often. What advice would you give to someone who is just beginning their journey into understanding and embracing their spiritual self through art?
Well, first thing I want everyone to know is you're at the exact right spot on your spiritual path. So
Hmm.
do not worry that you're a newbie or an oldie or you're stuck in the middle somewhere. Now that's a big thing, because I was a type A personality. So I thought that I had to do like spiritual awakening like this and rush to the top, kind of elbow everyone out of the way. That's how I describe it. And one day I was reading something and I suddenly realized there's millions of people in front of me, millions of people behind me and on either side. And my guide just said, you're at the right place at the right moment. And so I want to assure you all, you are at the right place at the right moment. And that's important for you to know. So there's no pressure. We all have activation codes encoded in our DNA that we're going to wake up at specific times. So first of all, celebrate that you're awake. Like, oh my God, I now know there's more to my life and my life has more meaning. And then you can be guided into what that is. And you work with a mentor like Jason or myself to learn what that means and why you came here and what's in your toolkit and what skills you brought in with you. Jason's smiling.
I want people to know that's invaluable advice for any of you guys out here that are at the start of your spiritual journey. Listen to Joan, using her art as a conduit. This is, exploratory. type stuff. It opens you up to so many different possibilities for discovery and connection. I'm excited about this show because there are some people out there, Joan, that are drawn to art and they don't know why, and they get all these messages and signals and inspiration, but just to have you on today to sort of bring some sort of clarity to what that could be and how they can use it to their benefit. I'm stoked for it.
Well, I have a second piece that's going to stoke you even more. Get this, all right? The art. So people think, oh, I go to a shop and I find something I like and I buy it. Well, the art calls its humans. It's a different thing. It's not like what you think. It's actually something happens in your heart, and a painting will call you. It'll literally catch your eye and like kind of beckon you. I don't know if you've ever had a crystal skull call you. I have. It
Oh
kind of
yeah.
said, "Come here, I want to talk to you." And the art gives you that kind of feeling. Like, so I'll always ask people, which piece is drawing you in? Which piece is calling to you? Because those are the pieces that have messages or have information for you. And then people can take that art home, and we can do an activation, a special service. I don't know anyone else who does that. We do this very special activation where I align you and the piece, whatever piece it is, so that you're at the same frequency, so that your frequency can be raised to connect you to this painting. And we infuse it with your intentions and your prayers and your affirmations. And people report like vibrating to this artwork.
Yes. Yes. And
And
no, go ahead.
no, I'm done.
Okay. So having said that, can you discuss the process of channeling and how you prepare yourself to be a conduit for the message and the energies that inform your art?
So I have several different ways. So in the beginning, when I would paint, the messages were so strong that they would take over my body like a whoosh. I can only explain it. It was like an ecstatic experience. And I could close my eyes and paint. I could turn the canvas up and down and paint.
Wow.
As long as I had my sacred music or chanting or meditation music, or I'd be listening to these angel channelers, and it would infuse whatever I was doing so I could have my mind somewhere else and my hand would be the paintbrush. Now, 2 years ago, I left the desert, put everything in storage, and I've been on the road ever since. So I realized when I was out in Mount Shasta that images were coming through, and I learned how to do them digitally. So now, right now, while I'm still traveling, I create it digitally. And so that process is I go into a meditation, and I sometimes it just makes me laugh. I go into a meditation, I connect, and then I get an inspiration. So this week I'm uploading all these new giraffes and zebras that came through the other day, and some new heart codes. I call them heart codes. I just uploaded them right before our interview. These heart codes go into your heart and they help heal it, literally. I just uploaded them today. And so I get guided, and then the finished product, and I go into almost a trance-like state. It could be an hour, it could be two. I sometimes I don't even know. I'm just called to take out, and then some of it I do on the phone. I'm just called like do it now thing. And if I don't do it now, I miss it. And that's the other thing. When your guides talk to you, listen now, because you will not remember later. It's not going to be the same message. Even if they wake you up in the middle of the night and you go, I'll remember this in the morning, I don't have to get up. You never remember it in the morning. And so the moment they talk to me, I literally sometimes drop everything and just go to work. Well, it's not work. I go into spirit. Does that help?
It helps a whole lot because this type of preparation sounds both sacred and essential. Just enabling you to be clear and to be very effective as a channel. And I just want the audience to know this is intriguing work, and and it's intriguing for me to learn about these types of disciplines and practices that support this type of creative uh, and spiritual work. And it's along the lines of the quantum healing hypnosis work, the QHHT work I do, taught by the late great Dolores Cannon. Such delicate, um, um, this delicate feeling of intuitiveness that you have when you're moving a person in a deep state of relaxation, so that you can move them to different past lives. Even when I'm in meditation, practicing transcendental meditation, moving yourself to this deep level of transcendence, so that I can perform an energy healing session, or so that I can move into a remote viewing session. Just the preparation that you go through, I know it's essential, and I'm just smiling listening to it. But how do you balance the commercial aspect of being an artist and maintain the integrity and spiritual purposes of your work?
I can answer that on several levels. Okay.
Mhm.
I used to feel like spirituality and poverty go hand in hand. You
Right.
know, St. Francis of
I know
Assisi,
exactly what you mean.
poverty, giving away everything I did. How could I charge someone for a reading when I have
Yeah.
information that can change their life or heal them? You know, and that's a real feeling. But as a chiropractor, I also learned that I had to. So I had my right hand, which did all the healing. I had my left hand that collected the money, or maybe it was the other one. I had to have two different selves to run that business.
Mm.
And that's what my mentors, my coaches used to say. There's that part of you that separates, that works with people. And then there's that part of you that has to collect the money. And the spiritual work we do, look, you have a beautiful home behind you. It's peaceful. It probably supports you in your work tremendously. I can tell by the artwork behind you. You
Yes.
like work with your background. I'm sensitive to that. And your environment is really important. So in creating that, I don't even remember the question anymore. But
I just
forget
want
it.
it's just the balance between commercial aspect of the business, and you're saying we're right on point, because we are healers. We are spiritual, intuitive beings who have discovered how to help others. But there's a commercial aspect of this so that we can stay afloat, so that we can continue to provide the services. And it's hard for us to charge people when we have these profound intuitive messages that show us exactly what they need to live the life that they want. And I just want you to comment on that. And what were your thoughts?
Well, you know, I've been virtually homeless a few times, and I could tell you that it's almost impossible to have a high frequency when you're in chaos, anxiety, worry, and trauma. And so,
Yes.
if I was to do my work when I was in that state, my work would not have been pure. The results wouldn't have been pure because I myself was in that state of chaos. So, as healers and as intuitives and guides like you are, being in a state of balance is most important. Being in beautiful, harmonious surroundings make it easier for me to work, probably for you too. And so our job is to help uplift other people so they can get into that expansion of consciousness in their own life and to also be that role model. Plus, Jason, I can tell by your energy too, you're also infectious. When you're in that state of calm, when I'm in that state of calm, I inspire hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. I know that. I've been told when I walk into a room, I can change the energy and so can you. And so we want it to be that highest frequency because that's the path we walk. I also have memories of when I fell and I woke up as an untouchable in India, impoverished, people stepping all over me like I didn't exist. And I was invisible. So, do we want to be invisible or do we want our people to see us?
Yeah.
It has to do with remembering our mission and letting that be so strong we don't run from it.
So for all of the intuitives and energy workers and coaches, Joan has just profoundly stated this message. that, you know, we have to balance, navigate this balance of our work and commercializing the work. And it's crucial for artists like myself, Joan, and whoever's listening, who work with such a deep spiritual and using all these intangible elements to our work. And you hit it on the nose, Joan. We have to work in balance and be in balance to give that person the best that they need, and which requires a commercial financial component so that we can stay in that realm. And that's why people seek you out, and that's why people seek myself and others out, is because we're able to keep this frequency, so to
Right.
speak. But I just think that's a valuable model for other creatives in the field, who seek to hone in their spiritual gifts while also achieving a level of commercial success.
You know, and it's also true that when you give things away, people don't value them. And so,
Sad, yeah.
and I trust me, when I started teaching about miracles and I had been so destitute, all my clients, what kind of miracle did everyone need? A financial miracle, you know, and I have given away much for free, and all my teachings on the web, you know, on the YouTube are all free. But I really learned that I can't drain my resources, and finances are part of the resources that we have.
We all start off that way, and then we learn once we get to the edge of the cliff where we're not viable anymore, and we build ourselves back up. And it's just hard, but I understand it. But we have a surprise for the audience. This beautiful work, this beautiful art that Joan has prepared for us today. It's on her website too, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Joan, and she's going to talk about these beautiful paintings, and we're going to share these with you guys right now. Look at this. So I'll let you,
See,
I'll be quiet and I'll let you take over.
okay, so guys, these are the divine beings. I'm going to show you a few big time just so you can see. People love this one. The blue, she comes from the blue realms, the blue angels, which a lot of people have heard about. And you can feel that love and compassion that comes from her heart that really nurtures and supports you. So these are some of the beings. Last summer, I was in Greece, and I've had a thing for Poseidon, for Neptune, for many years. I've had many visions with him, and I went to his temple, and so he told me that to create this one particularly, and there was another one that should be up here. It was like, well, where are all the men? There should be another. Oh yeah, here, over here. So these are the male essence of Poseidon, or other people call him Neptune. And you can, especially when many men have come up and bought these paintings, because it gives them that feeling of power and strength. This one too, Zeus, the sun god. So I have over here Isis, and notice that Isis is sitting in front of a beautiful stargate. So you can see that one. I want to show you a few others though.
Yeah,
See.
take your time. I'm excited to look at this
Oh
beautiful
yeah,
work.
these are the heart codes. I just put this one up this morning.
Mhm.
Art for your very precious heart. These two are what I call heart codes. When you stare into this one, and sometimes I use these for guided meditations. I put them up when I do meditations. But when you stare into these, feeling them infusing your heart, healing the imperfections and the pain in your heart, and literally encoding your own DNA with that heart energy. So this one I just put up, it just makes me so very happy. So I have heart art. I'm very much into miracles. My first book was called The Miracle Makers Club. You can get that on Amazon. All about how you can change your life and step into the miraculous just by shifting your energy.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I love her too. I love that one too. There's really so much art that is kind of, oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing here, and then I'm going to show you something very special. So I was talking about the mystical landscapes we have over here.
So each one that you do show us, can you just kind of tell us also, okay, I was inspired and this is how this happened, and and the
Okay, I'll tell you.
dancing.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
tell you
Okay.
more. This one. All right. I knew I was going to Greece and Egypt, and I actually listened to some meditations about connecting with the gods. I'm trying to remember who. In those days, I was connecting with Hathor and Ra.
Mm-hmm.
However, this feels more Greek than Egyptian to me. And I asked to bring in temples. I said, I want temples with pillars and ancient, like so that I could feel like I was transported there. And when you're here, you can actually feel yourself walking through these pillars. And the truth is that at the Temple of Luxor, I walked through pillars just like this. So I guess I wanted a taste of what I'd be experiencing.
Wow.
I hope that makes sense. After I started doing this art, people started asking me if I could do soul portraits. So a soul portrait
Beautiful.
is a process whereby we start with the initial readings, the soul essence readings, but we then, and I bring in different soul aspects of you, and I then create a video that has 20 to 30 soul aspects of you, like kind of this one, and then we pick out the best one that we make a portrait out of her aspects. I had no idea that she actually was a dancer for the early part of her life. And this just came out. I didn't know. I didn't even know that she didn't wear glasses most of the time. So we created these once we picked
Yeah, it's hard to hear you.
all of
Yeah.
these. So I send everyone a really cute little video that shows you different aspects of yourself and give you the information. Now, this is the one on the left that she ended up picking because it actually brought together the focused intention that she has. She's an amazingly beautiful woman. The focused intention, the clarity of thinking that she has, along with her creativity and her heart, a big, big heart in everything that she does. Can you see that in that painting here on the left? So that is so miraculous. And you can't forget, you literally can't forget who you are when
So
you
when
see.
it's playing, it's hard to hear you when you talk over it. So come back and tell us after it plays, and then come back and tell us so that everybody can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's stop the share for a second. Oh, stop sharing.
Okay.
I was able to do that. Okay. So when I work with people who want the soul essence portraits, now the process is changing, but the way it is right now, we start off by doing a session. And then in that session, different aspects of who you are come to me. And I spend, I don't know, up to about 10 days to 2 weeks. I'm trying to speed up the process where different aspects of you come forward. And then I collect them all. I gather them. Usually it's a lot of them, but I go for the top 20 and I put it in a cute video. You saw that video. And we have a session again. We hop on Zoom. We have a session with the art. And we talk about it. We talk about different aspects. Like I didn't know that she had years in her younger days as a professional dancer who did sacred dance. I had no idea, but that came through. So we decode it, and I give them some of the messages. And then towards the end of the session, we pick the one that she felt most resonated with her. And then I sent it as a portrait, as a full canvas. So you can find that on the website as well. And those are my favorites because when you have your actual soul aspect, and it's really soul aspects, we have many different soul fragments. It's almost like a shamanic bringing back of those pieces of your soul so you can actually see. Some of them look past lives, some of them look universal or galactic. Some of them look animal-like. It just depends. But we're calling in different aspects of your soul fragments to help you integrate. And then you can never forget how powerful you are. So if you have that painting on your wall and you wake up and you don't feel right, like your self-confidence is low,
Yes.
that painting on your wall is literally going to be screaming at you, come over here, come talk to me. This is who you are.
Wow.
Not that body of yours. This is who you are. You do have the skills. You do have the leadership. You do have the know-how to step up and shift into your higher aspects.
And all of the intuitive information that you get on people, those are your past lives. Those are your different elements of energy in different dimensions. So what Dr. Joan is saying is that these are elements of who you are. And we are made of light and sound. We are energy at the highest level and frequency. So this is beautiful. So with this work, in what ways do you believe your artwork can facilitate community and this collective healing, especially in times of global or personal turmoil?
I think my work as a whole, with my sessions and the artwork, really uplifts people. As I
Yeah.
said, when we activate the art, especially when we activate it, it resonates with your being. It will shift. I've had pieces of art that talk to me. I've
Mm.
had people come in my home when I used to have a home with a gallery in the home, come in, and one woman came running in. She didn't even talk to me. She went right in front of Mother Mary, had a big Mother Mary, and she went into prayer for 20 minutes, and then she got out, said thank you, and left. I have
Wow.
no idea what happened. So I can only tell you that the art creates a visual experience of who you're connecting with and how, or the energy, or the place you might be. Some of those portals. We didn't show the portals, but the portals can take you into those new levels and new places. And so I think it enhances you in the same way crystals do, but I think even more because it's visual, and it's visual in a way that can talk to you.
And the portals are you have paintings that are portals as well.
We can
Wow.
still show them.
Absolutely. Let's look at that.
All right, let's go and okay, present,
Yeah.
share
So
screen,
that
cosmic. I'm going to get out of this one
okay.
and we're going to go back to the beginning.
Yes.
So this is my art website, guys. This is not the Joan of Angels website. It's the art website. And where do I see portals? Oh yeah, portals. Oh yeah, and so a lot of it you can get as mugs and tote bags too. I think that's so cute. Nothing like having, so when I do your soul portrait, I usually send you a mug. It's usually a surprise, but I'm telling you all. Okay, so can you see these? Let's see what you can see.
Absolutely. There we go.
Okay. Oh, there you are. You can actually see it. Ah, all right. So for many years, I was very much, and I still am into ETs and UFOs. I don't talk about as much. I have had UFO encounters and ET encounters myself. And I'm very fascinated by this concept of angels and ETs. And so I was guided to create this painting of the spaceship. You can actually see sacred symbols encoding it. It is interesting. This is where the light comes out, but I also feel like this is the eye of the ship. They say that these ships are living. They're run by beings that might be on the ship, but by their consciousness, and that it responds to the consciousness of the crew members, and that the ships are literally a life force themselves, an energy force. And this is over the mountains, the angels coming up and gathering around the ship. It leaves me always wondering about the connection between the angels and the ETs. I do feel that they're really connected. Other portals that you might use. Okay. Oh, well, this one's pure energy. It's the vibration of light and sound. and these whirling energies. So if you've heard of the whirling dervishes, or dervishes rather, and the dancing that they do, that was part of my image as I was creating this. It's like, how can we express that swirling energy, that vibration? So when they dance, when the dervishes dance, they go into an altered state of consciousness, and music and vibration can do that. So that is how this painting kind of works. It helps to
Beautiful.
release you into that. And there was one other I wanted to show you.
Okay.
On this one. Yeah, this is an official Stargate. I created it actually as part of a group called Stargate Experience. And you can see yourself walking through the portal. And when I have meditated with this painting on my chest, what will happen is I'll lie down on the ground and I'll put the painting on my heart to heart. And I've had the most incredible visions. I've seen beings coming out of this portal to engage with me. And many other people who've used this for meditation have seen the same thing, these energies, these beautiful beings that are just literally waiting for us to, again, raise our vibration to match theirs.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, okay, so let's do this. Let's share with everyone the different websites, which goes with the painting website and then your website. And let's get into, after you've done that, let's talk about what exactly you offer on your website.
Okay. I am Joan of Angels. The good news is I'm the only Joan of Angels on the planet. So I'm not hard to find, but www.joanofangels.com is the main website.
Okay.
You can access the art one of two ways. You can, and all the information about the Soul Essence portraits on the homepage. Now you can either click the top, the menu art, and it'll take you to a kind of landing page that you click through, and it'll take you to the art page, the art website, or you can go to shop.joanofangels.com. But it's kind of fun to go through the big website, joanofangels.com. You can see what I offer there. And what I offer is a group of services. I start with soul essence readings. I think they're called Soul Awakening. I'm using all those words. Soul Awakening sessions. You can book 1 or 4, or I'll be offering coaching, a bigger coaching program again. I offer something right now called wing fluffing. What's wing fluffing? Wing fluffing is when you actually literally learn how to embody the presence of the angels and the celestials in your body and activate your 5th dimensional way of walking around in the world. Quite powerful. And then if you don't know what you want, you can just sign up for spiritual counseling. It's all the same. I get online with you and we ask what you need and what you want, and that's what comes forward for people.
Awesome.
I also have some classes. I have classes on mastering your intuition, learning how to use the gifts you were given. So learning how to awaken your superpower skills, your life purpose, and more like that also. So I do offer that. And I have my YouTube channel, which is free. You can see lots of things, lots of interviews that I've done with people, and in my own teachings on that.
And all this information will be in the show notes, so that people can find you. I'll make sure it's there. But Dr. Joan, I really appreciate you being a part of the expansion of consciousness tonight and being a wonderful guest. And your artwork is so profound, and the connection that people can receive from it is absolutely mind-boggling. And I just want to thank you. And I know for sure that you'll be back on the show, and I hope, because there are other things that we could have talked about tonight that we didn't get a chance to. But again, thank you for sharing with the audience, and we appreciate you.
Jason, it's been a pleasure. First of all, your name begins with a J. So,
Yes.
and J's are like leaders.
All right.
And I'm so happy. And I love being on your show. You ask the best questions. I love the calm consciousness that you portray. And I will come on your show anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you stay right there. I'm going to close it out. I want to be able to speak to you a little bit more before you go. But again, thank you for being a guest on the expansion of consciousness. Okay, 1 second. Oh, move you right there. I'm going to move you off. Wow. As we conclude today's inspiring discussion with Dr. Joan of Angels, we are reminded of the incredible power of art to connect us with our higher selves at the universe, and at this large scale, whether through her visionary artwork or through her intuitive guidance. Dr. Joan invites us all to explore and embrace the radiant light of our true essence. If today's conversation has ignited a spark within you, consider diving deeper into the world of spiritual art and guidance. Explore Dr. Jones' artwork, seek out her coaching, or just simply begin to engage with the art around you in a more mindful and open hearted way. And I do that too. I have art all around my home, and I walk around, I have to have high vibrating pieces that help me move throughout my day. I remember I was moving and I got into a place, and I waited for a little while to put the art up, and I just wasn't feeling right. So art really does raise your vibration and your consciousness when you pick the pieces that resonate. And just remember, each step you take on this journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening is a step towards embracing your fullest potential. Join us on next time for more explorations into consciousness and transformation. Until then, keep seeking, growing, and let the magic of the world unfold. Remember the 3 words that I always share with you: trust, relax, and discover. Good night.